Hello, good day, and welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time since I've been out doing a walkabout like this, and that's why there was very few videos. But in my defense, it's been soaking, sopping wet. So we done a walkabout back in 1st of November, it was like the 5th of November or something. Well, the weather, as far as rain was concerned, was doing fairly well in October. Well, then November come in for the entire month of November. Now, I'm hoping that this is going to be good because there's a weather bomb passing through, and that's actually why the temperature is up to 14 degrees. It's going to drop right back down afterwards. But for the entire month of November, we had 4 days without rain. That's without rain. I didn't say it was dry. 2 of those days we had mist, and one of those days it was foggy. So I had to go to Newfoundland on 2 of those days, and the other 2 days I was cutting firewood. We're just walking down by the ocean now. I mean, it's been a long time since I was down here too, and I've been wanting to go down and look around. Let's see. So here's what it's like. There's no sign of ice around here. Let's see if we can get down under here now. We're just doing a normal walkabout. Just to see the ocean and what's going on. We did get some strong wind, and I don't think you can see it on the camera, but the sand has been washed right up near the shore here. Quite a bit of kelp laying around. But this again is just another day. I've got way behind on the wood collecting, so I had to do a lot of that. See, we had some snow. That's where he cleared his driveway, and there's that little bit left. Nature has it. Cat's been doing his job. But yeah, there's more cut down here now. But there's so many young trees growing up. This is not going to last as an open field for very long. So I did bring some aspen down because I'm like, what do I do with stuff? Right? Because as I'm cutting down the other ones, I have to get the aspen out of my way. So I bring some in for firewood. So I'm burning spruce and birch and that, everything going fine. Got to the aspen, I had to sit there and babysit the stove. I was like, that's not going to happen again. And it's not because it was green, because I can take this stuff over here and put it in there and just have the stove open a little bit and it burns fine. So you see the cores rotting out in that one. And here's an example of what I mean, right? There's 3 spruce seedlings growing up there. There's one there underneath that junk. They're just popping up everywhere. This one is almost entirely rotten in the center. Now this big one here, he was solid all the way through. That one had just started to rot out. But you check this one. Now, it was growing up as 2 trees, eh? And this one broke off, but it did have green branches on it. And this one, well, it just, like I say, the bark is going that rough color with all the lichens on it. Sound like well, it's dead. But it had quite a few green branches up on high up. And as you can see, it's just got that little ring of live wood out around outside. Which is what this one is likely going to be like. Most of it is dead. If you look way up, and there's green up there. So I cut this just a couple of days ago, and now I've got to get out. I got to clean up. See, all the branches are over there, and most of this down here was just a stick of wood standing up. And clean up those branches and bring in this. There's probably about 3 trailer loads of wood here. So you see, there's a big aspen here. I mean, if I had a handsaw mill, it would be nice, but I don't like the idea of boring someone's. So the only idea that I can think of with this, I'll cut it short enough that I can cut it straight and split it in half. What I'm hoping to be able to do actually is, with the chainsaw, cut a board out at the center, and then I'll bring either side down to the shed and finish it off with the table saw and tools down there. But I have to cut it short enough that I can handle it, right? And even when I get down there to those branches, see what kind of boards I can make out of it, because like I said, I had to just sit there and babysit the stove when I put that stuff in it. Moose. That's what that looks like. I do have some rutabaga here that I will get something out of. Just before Christmas, I think I'm going to come out and collect all the ones that are big enough to get something out of. In there to get a bowl, and then I thought, I'm going to, well, I've got some stuff out thawing to make chili. I'm going to cut up these leaves and put it in the chili. I made some cabbage soup. Well, it's been a couple weeks ago now, but you probably know about cabbage rolls. And then there's the lazy man's cabbage rolls. But now there's a recipe of cabbage soup. And boy, that's tasty. But since I'm going to take these up as a whole plant, I'll take the broccoli heads first. This is a cauliflower, eh? It's getting along pretty good. It's still quite lively, even though we've had down to like -9 Celsius or something. When the broccoli, your time of harvesting broccoli is coming to an end, especially if you have stock this big. Cut off this, see here's most of the woody part right here. So you cut this back, and this light part in here is very edible and really tasty. So you just got to cut off this into this second ring that you see here. That's all got to come out. Which I assume is the same thing with the broccoli stalk as well. Brussels sprout stalk, I mean. Put this one off a fire. Not quite the same for Brussels sprouts, but I imagine if I do get those first two rings cut off, it'll probably be good. I'm going to try. Anybody can tell me what that's supposed to be. Take all the bad weed off it. And we'll see what it's like when you get it inside. Any more Brussels sprouts? See, this one is growing similar, but it is obviously a Brussels sprout, so maybe it's a Brussels sprout that got crossed with something else. Seems like regardless of what camera you got, there's a challenge with it. You see, if these all dried up, except for that one, actually, I don't even know how he got in there because the other day when I was peeling off all those peppers and cutting down the plants. That's the ones I got them there drying out. I think I'm going to take those peppers and turn them into a powder and just use them as cayenne pepper. I got this one. Put it on the floor. Take a little paring knife. Just take the bark off a tree. So this year hasn't been the driest year. In fact, that belongs to 2022. And 2020 and 2021 was also drier than this year. Last year we had that cold, wet June, and August coming pretty much normal. This year it was dry, but not, well, I mean, 2020, 2021, and 2022 beat it by a significant amount. And then November come in, 257 millimeters rain in November. Just like that. It's a little dry. Kind of like a dry carrot, actually. But, of course, tasting, well, I like a rutabaga, really. So when you're harvesting, you're going to pick up your plant for your broccoli, don't forget, stalks, you can do that. I haven't tried it with Brussels sprouts. It doesn't look like the Brussels sprouts are going to be as good, but I'll find out. I don't know, it might only be one 500ml bottle, but I'm going to, that pickling recipe I mentioned for the Brussels sprouts, I'm going to put both of them in there. And I think I'll peel these, cut them up, and put them in the brine too. So it'll be like pickles, except for, of course, it's the core of a Brussels sprouts stock. Don't know what I'm going to do with the leaves yet. Like I said, I think I'm going to put some of them in the chili, but that's a lot of leaves, so I gotta lay down and think about that. Another reason why I don't put out very many videos. I mess up so often. So I was recording this, or thinking I was recording it, and I was telling you all about how I'm going to pick the Brussels sprouts and the broccoli that was here. And it wasn't recording. So there's a big chunk of what would have been nice to have in the video. But it is what it is now. I hope you enjoyed that little bit. I had that last little bit of, like I say, Brussels sprouts and broccoli to get. No snow here in Newfoundland yet. Well, I think inside there is. So I had to stop for a minute, but as I was saying, hope you enjoyed this little video anyway. And I'll be back for an update. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.